Hey there, I'm AGR, and this is Should You Buy? And today we have Voor De Kroon, which is a kingdom management RTS game where you play in the battles similar to Mount and Blade, but as you'll see soon, the combat and everything is so much different. The game is being developed by Future Minimalism and published by them as well. I don't know too much about the developers of the game other than the fact that they are very active on their Discord channel, which if anyone needs a link to it I can send them it. They are very open to advice, not advice, like suggestions and content updates in the future. The developer has stated in his Discord that he would rather not have like a set roadmap for the game and would like to just add things as people suggest it, and if like the community agree, he'd be more than happy to like add things in, which I actually quite like. I don't mind the roadmap, but I feel like roadmaps sometimes, if people don't like the roadmap, it can also kind of ruin the hype for the game and future updates. So I like the fact that it's very community based and the people that actually play the game do have a say, so that is a very big positive about the game, as well as him just being active in the Discord, which I always think is really cool when you buy a game and the person that made the game or the people that made the game are active in the Discord and active with the community and answering questions and things like that. I always find that so cool. And now on to the gameplay. So I'll start with the basics. As you start up a campaign, you load in, or well, you'll choose a faction, and then you'll have a starting position on the map. I think I started with Holland, which is one of the factions. I believe there's like 8 or 9 factions in the basic campaign. And you start off with like 4 or 5 settlements, maybe a little bit more, depending on how easy the faction is that you start with. And in your settlements you can upgrade buildings, upgrade your castle or your main building, you can upgrade your farms, your docks, like things like that. So you usually get like 3 buildings in each settlement, you can upgrade them all or change them, which is really good. Within that you can also have your armies stored in there, so you have your units, which you can all change. There's usually about 7 or 8 unit types to choose from. Some are restricted to only being able to be built with a max level castle, which is like a bit more late game, but obviously that's just to make it not too easy originally. Gives you something to look forward to later in the game as well, because the power shift when you have those units usually is quite drastic. It's the same as the AI though, the AI gets those units as well once they also upgrade, so it does keep things fair. Outside of that, another thing to note is you can only attack enemy settlements that are at the border of your own. So in other games sometimes you can like march across the map willy-nilly and go take a settlement half the country away. In this game you can't do that, which is also another unique thing. Again, I think it leans into the realism factor of the game, which as you can see in the background, the gameplay is quite like brutal and realistic, like the combat, and I believe that is a big part of the game, is it's supposed to be realistic, but also it keeps it fun. Like I feel like if it was too realistic it would lose some of the fun, but it is a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it about the settlements. It's not too deep, the settlement management, the kingdom management. The most depth comes from like your units. You can customize your units, you can customize the officers in the units, and you can level them up with XP, which you gain from battles as well, which is nice. So another thing about the combat, it is brutal, and as you can see in the background, there is finishers in the game, which are amazing. I love the brutality of this game. If you like a medieval game where the combat is the key and it's brutal and it makes you feel like you're in the time period that the game is set in, because back then the combat would have been so brutal, as you've probably seen in shows and documentaries and stuff. This game really doesn't shy away from that setting, or the setting of medieval combat, and it's so much fun. It's so addictive. And the finishers, albeit there's not absolutely loads of them, there's enough that the variation does keep you wanting more. Like, you'd never really get bored of the animations, which I feel like in some games you can get a wee bit bored of animations. Also, just for clarification, the gameplay in the background is the Scottish Wars of Independence campaign, which you can download from the Steam Workshop. It's custom made by someone, I'm not sure who it is. If anyone's curious, I can leave it in the comments. It's a lot of fun and it's very realistic, and it's, me being Scottish, I love it. It's something I've always wanted to play in a game, and I love the fact that this game gives me the chance to do that. So just to go over the sound design, the style and the graphics, as you can see from the battle, the graphics are all pretty solid. I'm not running the game in a particularly like top end PC. I've got like a middle end PC. My PC is mid, and I had no problems with performance. My frame rate was fine. I never really checked it, but it was fine. I never had any problems with it. Load times were great, optimizations great, graphics, especially in combat and battle, amazing. I think the game looks fantastic. As for the style, it's a medieval game. Everything around it is based medieval. The castles and the siege battles look really cool. There's quite a lot of different castles as well, and like I said, with the game being open to making your own campaigns, you can make your own settlements, your own castles, campaigns, weapons, armour, heraldry. So much of this game is customizable, and you can do it by yourself, or other people can do it, or if you make friends in the community, you could do it together. It's such a cool and interesting idea. But yeah, graphics, style and sound, great, no complaints at all. I couldn't ask for much more from the game in that department. So now I'm just going to talk about some pros and cons of the game. So I would maybe say a weakness is possibly the content and the base game that you buy. So the game is £23 roughly. I got it on sale on Steam for like £16, which for that price I thought was great. I think is great. But the base content in the game, you get a small campaign, a Friso Hollandic campaign, and then you get a larger one with extra factions, which is a little bit more difficult. So the content in the game isn't the most, but it's not really a big drawback. As I said, a lot of it's customizable. There's modders out there that have made campaigns that you can jump into on day one of you buying the game if you wanted. So just on the strengths of the game, I'd say the customization, the combat's a 10 out of 10 for me, the graphics, and probably the depth of the game and the progression, because you're always progressing unless you get absolutely steamrolled by another faction, which hasn't happened to me yet, so hopefully it stays that way. And so the final verdict for Voor De Kroon is you should buy it. If you can get it on a sale, even better, but I think it's 100% worth your time and your money. If you've played Voor De Kroon already, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoy strategy game reviews like this, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and take care guys.